When it comes to the ingredients for our Allgäuer Seelen, we should make sure nothing is missing. Welcome to our channel. Today we're making Allgäuer Seelen, a specialty from Bavaria, from the Allgäu region, made with spelt flour. Something truly delicious. They look like this, taste amazing, smell wonderful, and are as fluffy as can be. Have lots of fun with our video. For our Allgäuer Seelen, we need spelt flour type 630, salt, sugar, yeast, and water. The water is now at room temperature. It's very warm here. Otherwise, I always say to use lukewarm water. So just whatever is good for the yeast. A few words about the spelt flour. It's a great flour. You just need to know that spelt itself originates from wheat. They're all backbred varieties from wheat. It also goes the other way. Wheat also comes from there. Spelt has many good qualities. It's very, very healthy and can do a lot. But you can't walk on water with it. I would say don't expect too much. Just enjoy it. It gives these rolls a really wonderful flavor. I can already tell you that now. The preparation is incredibly simple. First, I take my water. I've loosened up my yeast a bit, crumbled it, and now I stir the yeast into the water and mix it in a little. I like that. I just move it away a bit so it isn't so loud. I also let it soak for a little while and then stir it again. The advantage is that it's already in the water and immediately spreads throughout the dough, so it doesn't have to be kneaded in first. It's already there. My dry ingredients, salt and also sugar. By the way, you can also use malt extract instead of sugar if you have it. It doesn't make a difference. I also mix that in a little beforehand and add it to my bowl. There we go. Not much has happened up to this point. With the yeast, it's important to stir it well again now. That's it. All right. Of course, we want to get everything in there. Oops. And now I knead the whole thing for 5 minutes. When kneading, it's important to always knead less with spelt flour. Spelt will eventually release the water again if you knead it for too long, and then you get a somewhat dull dough that also becomes shiny, and it can't bind the water as well. So 5 minutes is enough, and you can immediately see that the dough is wonderful afterwards. This is how it looks now, and now it goes into the machine. The dough has now been in the machine for 5 minutes at medium speed. He looks like this. I can take it off the dough hook easily here with almost dry hands. I've only got a tiny bit of flour on my hand now. I'll take it out once to show you how it reacts. You don't have to do this. The dough is now exactly as it should be, and it will now rest covered in the bowl for just 15 minutes. The resting time for the dough is completely sufficient because I'm not going to knead this dough much or do anything else to it. I'll just divide it, place it on the baking tray, and bake it. That's the idea behind Allgäuer Seelen. They're not heavily worked, but honestly, that's also what makes them so delicious and so fluffy as a baked good. So it goes in here. Now I'll cover it for 15 minutes for the dough to rest, and then we'll continue. The dough has now rested for 15 minutes. I had it covered. I'll take off the cover now. You can already see nicely how it has risen. It doesn't need any more resting time. There's a reason for that too. You'll see it now during the processing. As I said, I'm not shaping it. I'm just going to finish it off now. That might sound a bit odd. You'll see what I mean. I take the dough out of here, put some flour on the table, and put it in here for a moment. There. I'll set that aside for now. And now I'm going to take a piece from the dough by moving it around a bit, stretching it out here so that it's about 10 centimeters wide and 30 centimeters long. I'm not pressing or kneading it much. Instead, I'm leaving the proof as it is, as they say. Now I'll start getting it ready to place on the baking tray. I cut it once down the middle like this, then here and here again. These are now each the middle of the middle. And now I'm already starting to set aside the pieces I need. I've already divided my Allgäuer Seelen dough. What happens now? Now I take the pieces like this, stretch them out a little, and place them on the cut edge. This here is the cut edge. Oops, now it's sticking. That's the demonstration effect. Place them on the tray with the cut edge facing down. As you can see, they tend to stick. The dough is of course soft, and it needs to be. Always keep your hands a little floured. Now I'm going to lay out 4 of my Allgäu Seelen here. I can also stretch them out a bit. That works really well for this type of pastry. Once, of course, I'll do the same with my second tray. I also have to keep these spaces between them. This pastry needs that space because they'll rise a bit more later. They'll get a little bigger. That's exactly what they should do. Just turn the end piece over, cut side facing up. That way they're positioned just right. And that's all there is to opening it. These rolls are as natural as can be. It's a quick pastry, comes together really fast, still develops a great flavor, and is always easy to whip up in between. You can always have fresh rolls in no time. All right? Now I'll place these together here a bit, cover them, and let these 2 trays with the dough pieces rest for 20 to 25 minutes, depending on the room temperature. With this pastry, it's also important not to let them fully proof before putting them in the oven, but rather to work with about 3/4 proof. That way they keep their shape nicely and really rise well during oven spring. All right, 20 minutes, let's continue. The dough pieces have now finished their resting period. You can see they've risen well. Here, if I press in, there's a small indentation that springs back up just right. Now I'll take both trays, grab a simple plant sprayer, and mist them from above. Don't be stingy with it. You can really go for it here. They can handle plenty of water. I always spray from the side as well. It's important that they get well misted. Now I'm going to put caraway seeds and salt on my Seelen. Of course, you can also use sesame or seeds, whatever you like. The original Seelen, the way they're known in the Allgäu, are usually made with caraway and salt. Just sprinkle a bit on top like I'm doing here. Don't be shy with the caraway. If you like it, it's really delicious. There we go. This is coarse salt. Also quiet, just as you like. I like it when you can really see there's salt on top. An important step, mist them again now. Now I go in and press it down a little. This way, the caraway and salt stay on the pastry. Now it goes into the oven at 180 degrees for 18 to 22 minutes. It always depends a bit on your oven. Of course, put it in with steam, so I add a little water to the oven to create steam. With spelt flour, you should know, it doesn't need really high heat. That's why 180 degrees is just right here. Then I'll show you in a moment how they turned out. The Allgäu Seelen have now been in the oven for 18 minutes. They smell wonderful and they're nicely baked through. You can hear it. And above all, they're really delicious. You can hear how crispy they are and look how I break them open, how beautiful and fluffy they are inside. This is a really, really beautiful pastry. As I said, in Bavaria, in the Allgäu region, there are many variations of this. This is my variation. I can only highly recommend that you try making them yourselves. You can have very nice rolls very quickly, fresh and delicious. As always, it was a pleasure for me to show you this. I hope you enjoy the video. You can find the recipe for our little video below in the video description. Thank you for watching, have fun baking, and see you next time on our channel.